Do you have like favorite techniques in your own work, like things that are just kind of like your go-tos, like
I'm not sure if I do a lot of work where I have to use fair use, and I really enjoy finding ways to use it or finding creative ways to get around. Not everybody not every legal team let us, but there are, finding ways to critique what you're about to see. So I enjoy that kind of thing. I am I try and tackle the harder things first when I work because, the things that I'm dreading because they're big and complicated. So I can do a pass at them first because they're scary. And then everything else is easy after that. They're the big scare, the big scary scenes. You're like, that's going to be a nightmare. So I'll lay everything down and then cut it down and then go and edit something fun and then come back to it. Um, I'm not sure what I've got, if anything's particularly signature. I mean, I'm a big one for cut editing with music. I've done some music docs where, I come from a music background, so I will cut a tune down to fit what I need. Which can be frustrating. I've worked with directors who've been like, just cut it and fade it. And I'm like, no, because the flow doesn't work. And if you know the song, you know what the lyrics are, or you know what the rhythm is, and that I can't do that.
mm,
Which is funny because I know again how the industry has changed and roles have changed. When I started, I remember being told, just choose a track, lay it down, they'll sort it out in the dub. Someone else will sort it out, which was what we did. And then over time, I would be expected, or I worked on kids' music programs where I'd have to say, get like a JLo video and take out every time she looks too sexy or something, or there's alcohol on a tray and I'd have to edit those, edit something else in, or find another track and take out any references to alcohol or swearing. And they'd be like, yeah, just put a beep in. And I'd be like, no, I can use another beat from the track, or I can put a hand clap or something, make it part of the song. So yeah. So I guess music's been my thing, and I've not really thought about it that much. I guess yeah, I enjoy using, even when it's not the focus of a scene, making sure that the music works. It's really, really important to me. And if I'm cutting it down, it's not just slamming the first and the last bit. How I have to re-edit the bits in the middle, everybody does this. I don't think I'm unique, but to make sure that it flows so that the listener isn't sort of like, oh, that didn't quite work for me, because subconsciously we're taking that in all the time.
yeah, that's a really great. Again, this segue to the next question. I'm super excited to ask you about music. When you start with music, like when you work with music, do you start with music? Because again, like I would like I was always taught do it that way, beginning, end, and then just deal with it in the middle and slap in a track at the end. And when I did my own films, I'm like, if I structure this scene to the music, it just works a lot better.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
independent work with no bosses to tell me what to do. So
yeah. Was that, yeah, it takes a while to get the confidence up to sort of start going, this is how you should be doing it. Um, I think I love it if I can start with music, but I also really enjoy working with composers who send me their temp tracks, but are going to basically recompose everything at the end, or not, or refit everything, because they own that, and I love that. But I know what the mood is that we're working with. Because I know that if I put down a lot of temporary tracks, I never know if I'm insulting someone. They're like, I'd never write that, or why didn't you use the stuff I sent, or whatever. There's a lot of times I don't have the time to start with the music because everyone's like, we're not sure what we can use, or and so I'll just cut. I will just begin, and it can get really. What gets really frustrating is if I'm on, like I said, I don't do them very often, but maybe once a year I'll be on something where I'm coming in to finish something, and it's all very quick, and they need different music, and there's no time, and da 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 da. And then, so what's been really helpful, took me again years to realize that this was an option, to have contacts at the music libraries, who I can sort of say, and I didn't know that it was they've told me a million times, we offer this service, and I didn't know. You can just email them and say, I've got a scene, and it's, we're in a market in Nigeria, but it's not, I don't want traditional, old school, what you expect it to sound like. I need this feeling. It's this time of day, and I want this. And there's these people walking. Can you help? And it's someone's job there to find me, make me a playlist of things they think might work from what I've explained. Or I might send them a clip, or they might come in and look. But often I'm just going, I need to represent this. I need to represent that. What have you got? and they will send me some ideas. And whether I use them or not, it's just someone else has done that initial brainstorm for me because I haven't had the time. And I really enjoy working like that, even though it sounds like it feels like a cop out that someone else is doing the work, but it gives me a new starting point. And sometimes it's brilliant. Sometimes I'll go, these are great, but what I actually, if you could get me something like this, but less, I don't know, less drums or more guitar, whatever. And that can be really fun, a really fun, quick way because it's like having my music assistant in the room, but they're just sending me things, they're part of the process. And it just gives me a different perspective, like their perspective thinking. So I find that quite useful when I'm working at speed. Um, it's so rare to have enough time to do the music on anything. So it's lovely when I'm in a feature doc and they've got a composer on board from the start and I can chat to them and say, what were and I might say, I think this, and they'll give me some temp, or I'll say, I've cut this, I've put nothing on it, and I'll send it. What does it spark in you? And I just can build up that creative relationship. And I really, really, really enjoy that. I really enjoy that. If I'm working on something about like contemporary, like a hip hop thing, then I just really enjoy finding the tracks that I've loved from over the years and finding a way to use them by making sure somebody critiques them and we can use a bit of it for free, if I'm allowed.